My beloved child, hear my voice in the quiet of this moment, for I am the Father who has watched over your every step through the long, weary seasons of your waiting. I see you standing there, your eyes fixed upon those heavy doors that have remained closed for so long, doors that hold the breakthroughs, the advancements, and the divine opportunities you have yearned for throughout the passing years. You have lingered at the threshold, hesitant and trembling, wondering if you even have the right to reach out your hand or if you must wait for a sign that you are truly welcome. But I am leaning down to whisper into your heart right now. The time for hesitation has reached its end, and I am calling you to step forward and knock with a firm and steady hand. Do not approach with a faint heart, for I have already moved through the heavens on your behalf, unsealing every window of my celestial storehouse to rain down a blessing that is not measured in drops, but in an unstoppable tide. Those gates that were once rusted shut by years of bitter disappointment and the ache of constant delay have been torn wide by my own power, and the abundance I have reserved specifically for your life is beginning to pour forth like a great river. This is not a meager supply that you must carefully ration or fearfully hoard, but a deluge so overwhelming and so vast that the current containers of your life will not be able to hold the sheer weight of my goodness. You must begin to expand the borders of your expectations and build larger storehouses for your dreams, because the release I am bringing will defy every human calculation and every logic of the world you live in. Let the truth sink deep into the parched soil of your spirit. In this new season, there shall be no lack, no void, and no missing piece in the tapestry of your destiny. I am revealing myself to you as Jehovah Jireh, not as a God who provides just enough to survive, but as the Father who provides extravagantly and generously beyond the wildest reaches of your imagination. I am silencing the anxiety that has gripped your chest and the fear that has stolen your sleep. For how can lack exist when you are the child of the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and holds the wealth of every nation in his palm? You have spent so much time trying to manufacture your own supply and tying yourself in knots of worry, but I never intended for you to carry the burden of the how or the when on your own fragile shoulders. I am the source of every breath and every blessing, and I am telling you that your history, your past failures, and your feelings of inadequacy cannot stop the doors I have decided to open for you. Stop seeking permission from a world that does not know your worth, and stop waiting for the fear to vanish before you move, for true courage is born when you decide to trust my hand, even while your own is shaking. I am accelerating your journey now, turning years of struggle into months of favor and months of waiting into weeks of sudden miraculous manifestation. Every seed of faithfulness you sowed in the dark and every tear you shed in the silence has been recorded in my book, and I am now unlocking the vault to give you a harvest that matches the greatness of my love for you. You are moving out of the wilderness of barely enough and into a land flowing with the milk and honey of supernatural provision that finds you even when you aren't looking for it. I am making you a river, not a reservoir, so that as my blessings flow into you, they will overflow out of you to touch a world that is hungry for hope and evidence of my reality. Do not be afraid of the height of the mountain or the size of the need, for just as I provided the ram in the thicket for Abraham at the very moment of his surrender, I have already prepared the solution for you before you even realized there was a problem. I am proactive, strategic,
and always 10 steps ahead of your circumstances, preparing the people, the connections, and the resources you will need before you even reach the next corner of your path. The spiritual reality of your life has shifted. The floodgates are wide, and I am calling you to live in a state of rest, knowing that your provider never slumbers and his riches are truly inexhaustible. So stand tall, my precious one. Take a deep breath of my peace and walk toward those doors with the confidence of royalty, for the King of the universe is standing right behind you, and I have already declared that the way is open. My precious child, I see you. I see the way your mind races when the house grows quiet, weaving together elaborate tapestries of what if and not enough. I am leaning down now to whisper a command over your spirit. Stop lying awake in the dark, drafting scenarios of scarcity and rehearsing the lines of failure. Do not let anxiety become a thief that plunders the sanctuary of your peace, and do not allow the ghost of fear to anchor your feet at the very threshold of the glorious opportunities I have paved for you. I am not a distant observer of your life. I am your provider, the eternal source from which every good thing flows, and your inexhaustible supply for every season. I am telling you with the clarity of a father's love that nothing, absolutely nothing, is going to be lacking in your life as you walk with me. You can let go of the steering wheel and trust me. You can find your Sabbath rest in my arms and move into your tomorrow with a spine of steel and a heart of gold, knowing that I have already walked the path ahead of you to prepare every single resource you require. When you reach those doors of destiny, I want you to knock with a boldness that shakes the foundations of doubt. This confidence does not come from your own strength or your own resume, but from the unshakable reality of who I am in you. You don't knock because you feel qualified by the world's standards. You knock because you believe that I, the King of Kings, have already qualified you by my own decree.
The middle-aged man, with a slightly hoarse voice and a hint of anger, possessed considerable knowledge. You may not feel ready, but I am making you ready with every step of obedience you take through those open portals. Move now with the weight of divine decision. Act with a firmness that refuses to retreat, and pursue the dreams I have whispered into your soul with the absolute assurance that the Creator of the universe is standing behind you, backing you up and making a way where the world says there is no way. The tranquility you have been hunting for in 1,000 different places is not somewhere off in the distance. It is here, right now, vibrating within this moment. This peace doesn't depend on your circumstances transforming overnight, though I tell you truly, they are about to shift. But it depends on your choice to believe my voice over the shouting of your situation. Choose today to let my promises be the anchor that holds your soul steady, instead of letting the temporary problems of this world toss you about like a ship lost in a violent gale. True rest comes when you finally drop the crushing burden of trying to be your own God and your own provider, and instead accept that I am the one who carries you, and I never ever fail. Open your hands now and let the tension drain from your fingers. Stop clenching your fists around the little bit of dust you've managed to scrape together, terrified that if you let go, it will vanish into nothing. Open your palms to heaven and let me fill them until they overflow. Let me pour into your life a vintage of blessing that you have never tasted before. I want to demonstrate to the heavenly hosts and the earthly scoffers what it looks like when I decide to favor one of my children extravagantly. My goodness is not a theory. It is a force that exceeds your capacity to even dream it, and my provision is not just barely enough, it is an abundance that defies the math of this world. I am leading you out of the dry valley of lack and into the high country of overflow, so that your very existence becomes a living testimony that I am faithful, I am generous, and I keep every word I speak. Nothing is going to lack, not your joy, not your health, not your finances, and not your peace. I have unlatched the windows of heaven over your head, and the floodgates of my grace are swinging wide even as I speak. The provision is not just coming, it is already on the way, and you are about to walk into the fullness of everything I set aside for you before the foundations of the earth were laid. This is your appointed season, your designated hour, the precise moment when the tide turns in your favor. The doors are right there. The opportunities are within the reach of your faith. All that is left for you to do is knock, step forward, and receive with a grateful heart. Do it without a shadow of doubt, for I am with you in every heartbeat and every footfall, ensuring that every tool you need is placed in your hand at the exact second it is required. Let me explain something deeper about the nature of how I take care of you, so that you may understand it in the marrow of your bones. My provision is not merely about the numbers in your bank account or the food on your plate, though I am certainly taking care of those needs. It is deeper. I provide the supernatural peace for your mind when the world around you is screaming in chaos. I provide the divine strength for your body when exhaustion tries to pull you into the dirt. I provide a joy that is not dependent on a good day, but on a good God. When you are standing at a crossroads and confusion clouds your eyes, I am the one providing the wisdom that cuts through the fog. Every breath you just took was a gift from my hand. Every beat of your heart is a miracle I am providing in real time. You have been so distracted by the things you think you are missing that you have missed the thousands of ways I have been sustaining you every hour. I am not telling you this to make you feel guilty, but to wake you up to the reality that my supply has never, ever stopped flowing towards you. Even in the seasons where you felt like you were wandering in a desert, I was the hidden manna. Even when you thought I was silent, I was the pillar of fire guarding your sleep. Now the provision that was hidden is becoming visible. The subtle ways I've cared for you are about to become so obvious and so dramatic that the world will have to stop and acknowledge that your God is real. I am opening multiple doors for you now, and you need my eyes to see them correctly. Some are opening so you can see the horizon of your future. Others are opening so you can begin to prepare the skills you will need for the next level. Do not fear being overwhelmed by choice, for I am your shepherd, and I do not lead my sheep into a maze of confusion. I will guide you through the right gate at the perfect time, and I am releasing multiple streams of supply from directions you never expected. Everything is shifting. The stuck is becoming loose, the blocked is being cleared, and the no of the past is being transformed into the yes of your future. Suddenly is about to be the theme of your life. Suddenly the dead is gone. Suddenly the body is healed. Suddenly the door swings wide. Are you truly ready to receive this? I am preparing your heart right now to be a vessel that can hold this much glory without breaking. I am deprogramming the scarcity mindset that has told you resources are limited and that you have to fight for your share. In my kingdom, the jar of oil never runs dry as long as there is a heart ready to pour. You are the widow of Zarephath, and I am telling you that your small supply is about to become a continuous fountain because you have placed your trust in me.
The middle-aged man, with a slightly hoarse voice and a hint of anger, possessed considerable knowledge. Align your words with my heart now. Stop agreeing with the lie of not enough and start declaring the truth of more than enough. Say it with me. I am blessed. I am supplied, and my God withholds no good thing from me. As you speak these words, feel the shift in the atmosphere around you. Feel the dam of delay breaking and the waters of favor rushing in. Your faith is not a passive waiting. It is an active trust that thanks me for the harvest while the ground is still dry. I see your persistent, stubborn faith,
and I am responding to it with a spectacular vindication that will silence every skeptic who ever doubted my love for you. Your breakthrough is going to be a landmark, a lighthouse for others who are lost in their own storms of lack. So knock boldly, step in confidently, and occupy the territory I have given you. Do not apologize for the space you take up, and do not dim your light to make others comfortable. You were created to shine, to lead, and to be a conduit of my extravagant grace. Rest in this tranquility that I am pouring over you now. Let your shoulders drop and your jaw relax as you breathe in my presence. I am Jehovah Jireh, your provider, and I have already seen to it that you have everything you need for the journey ahead. My beloved child, hear my voice in the gentle stillness of this moment, for I am the Father who has watched over your every sleepless night and every weary step. You have lingered at the threshold of greatness for so long, looking at the doors I have placed before you, yet holding your breath as if waiting for a permission slip that I have already signed with my own blood. I am leaning down now to whisper directly into the marrow of your spirit. You do not have to wait for the stars to align or for your circumstances to become a perfect reflection of your desires before you find peace. Perfect alignment is not found in the world around you, but in the turning of your heart toward me, the eternal source of all that is still and all that is whole. I am offering you a rest that the world cannot give, and it is available right now, in the middle of the mess, in the center of the storm, and in the heart of the uncertainty. You only need to be still long enough to actually receive what my hands are holding out to you. I want to settle the matter of enough in your soul once and for all. In my presence, nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be lacking. I am not just talking about the bread on your table, though I see your hunger. I am talking about the peace for your mind, the wisdom for your choices, the strength for your tired bones, and the courage to face the giants that mock you at the gates. I have provided every single resource for the assignment I have carved out for your life, and while you may not see it all yet, it is as real as the air you breathe. Some of your blessings are already in your house, disguised as ordinary things you have yet to recognize. Some are currently on the move, timed with celestial precision to arrive at the exact second of your need, and others are stored in the vaults of heaven, awaiting the appointed hour of their release. But hear me, child, all of it exists, all of it is allocated specifically to your name, and none of it will be withheld when the moment of manifestation arrives. This all leads back to one question that I am asking you to answer in the depths of your being. Do you trust me? Do you truly believe that I am the great I Am, the God who spoke the galaxies into existence and yet knows the number of hairs on your head? If you believe that my promises are the firmest ground in the universe and that my character is the definition of faithfulness, then you can finally stop the exhausting labor of striving. You can stop the endless calculations in your head, the frantic trying to figure out how to make 2 + 2 = 1,000, and you can simply rest. You can know with an absolute, unshakable certainty that everything you need is already being managed by the one who never fails and never sleeps. I need you to understand that my clock does not run on human batteries, and my calendar is not marked by earthly seasons. You have been judging my faithfulness by a timeline that is too small for the magnitude of what I'm doing in you. What you perceive as a painful delay, I know to be a vital preparation. You set deadlines in your mind, and when they pass without a sign, the shadows of doubt begin to creep across your heart, making you wonder if I have forgotten the sound of your voice. But I am asking you to shift your gaze from the calendar to my character. Stop asking when and start trusting who.
I am not making you wait because I am indifferent to your struggle, but because I am orchestrating a masterpiece of timing that considers variables you can't even imagine. I am moving people you haven't met, shifting mountains you haven't seen, and preparing you to carry a weight of glory that would crush you if I gave it to you today. If I opened every door the moment you knocked, you might walk into a room you weren't equipped to lead, or receive a blessing you didn't yet have the wisdom to steward. I wait because I am protecting you from the danger of premature success. I am making sure that when the abundance hits your life, your character is strong enough to be its foundation, not its victim. The wait has not been a waste of time. It has been the very forge where your spirit was tempered. Every day you spent wondering how was a day your roots were growing deeper into the soil of my grace. Abundance without character is a recipe for disaster, and I love you too much to let you be destroyed by the very thing you prayed for. But listen closely. The preparation is reaching its completion. The season of testing and refinement has served its purpose, and you have come through the fire with your faith not just intact, but shining like pure gold. I have watched you in the hidden places where you chose to praise me even when the cupboard was bare, and you chose to trust me even when the world told you I was absent. That kind of faithfulness is rare, and it has captured my heart. Because you were trustworthy in the little, now I am promoting you to the much. You are moving into a realm where you no longer have to chase the blessing. The blessing is going to start hunting you down.
The middle-aged man, with a slightly hoarse voice and a hint of anger, possessed considerable knowledge. You are entering a level of authority where doors will swing wide, not because you pushed them, but because the favor of heaven is your key. Breakthrough is becoming your new normal, and supernatural provision will soon be so common that you will look back and smile at the days you spent worrying about a single bill. Everything I whispered to you in the dark is about to be shouted from the rooftops. And when you see the magnitude of what I have done, you will finally understand the why behind the wait. You will realize that I was never late. I was simply waiting for the perfect moment for your testimony to bring me the greatest glory and bring you the greatest joy. So take a deep breath and let the tranquility of my presence wash over you like a warm rain. Release the tension in your hands. Open them wide to receive the overflow. This is not a temporary reprieve. It is a permanent upgrade to your life's journey. I am your provider. I am your source, and I am your eternal supply. Walk forward into this day with your head held high, for you are the child of the King, and nothing, absolutely nothing, is going to lack. My beloved child, quiet your heart and let these words sink into the very depths of your being, for I am speaking specifically to you in this hour of transformation. I am calling you to a new way of existing, a way where you train your spirit to trust me without the constant noise of second-guessing and doubt. This season you are entering is one of divine motion, and it requires you to step forward without the weight of hesitation, for I have already paved the path ahead of you with my grace. I am asking for bold receiving, for you to open your hands wide and take hold of the bounty I am pouring out, knowing that it is your inheritance as my heir. Understand that the provision I am releasing into your life right now is not merely a temporary fix for your current struggles. I am thinking far beyond your today. I am looking at where you will be 5, 10, even 20 years from now, and I am strategically placing resources, connections, and wisdom in your path today that you may not fully understand until you reach those future moments. I see the entirety of your journey from the beginning to the end, and I am making sure that every tool you will ever need is already waiting for you at the precise coordinate of your future requirement. If a door opens today that seems premature, or if a connection is made that feels out of place, do not dismiss it.
Trust that I am the master orchestrator who knows exactly what is coming next. Do you recall how I led my children out of the bondage of Egypt? Before they took a single step into the wilderness, I instructed them to gather silver, gold, and fine clothing from their former captors. To the natural eye, this seemed foolish. Why would nomads in a desert need the riches of an empire? But I knew that a day was coming when they would build a tabernacle, a dwelling place for my glory, and they would need those very materials to complete the work. I provided for a requirement that had not yet manifested, and I am doing the exact same thing for you in this very hour. I am giving you things in advance. I am positioning you early so that when the fullness of your destiny arrives, you are not scrambling, but ready to thrive. I know that the level of blessing coming your way will not make sense to those around you. There will be voices of suspicion, people who wonder why you are being favored, and those who falsely assume you must have compromised to reach such a breakthrough. Hear me clearly. You do not owe the world an explanation for my goodness. You are not required to justify my favor to the skeptical or defend my provision to those who do not know me as their source. Your only duty is to receive with a humble heart, steward the gift with wisdom, and let the sheer joy of your life be the sermon that preaches my faithfulness. However, I am also bringing your people to your side, those who have groaned in prayer with you and who will now dance in celebration with you. When they see what I am doing in your life, their own hope will be set ablaze, for your victory is a signal to them that I am still the God of miracles. Hold on to this community, for shared joy is multiplied joy, and I have designed you to walk in the sweetness of fellowship. Right now, I am specifically moving in the realm of your finances. That heavy iron chain of debt that has been cinched around your neck is about to be snapped. That suffocating pressure that makes it hard to breathe at night is being lifted by my sovereign hand. I am shifting the numbers in your favor. I am canceling what was owed and releasing what was blocked. You will see increases that cannot be explained by your paycheck alone, for this is supernatural supply. But as this abundance flows, seek my heart on how to manage it. Remember that money is a tool for the kingdom, not a treasure for the ego. When you use what I give to bless others and advance my purposes, you prove yourself a trustworthy steward, and I delight in giving even more to a heart that is a conduit, not a reservoir. I am also touching your physical body in this moment, for the chronic pain that has stolen your focus and the exhaustion that has sapped your will. I am releasing a fresh wave of my healing power. I am the architect of your anatomy, and I am bringing divine alignment to every cell and every system. Regardless of the labels the world has placed on your health, my touch is more potent than any diagnosis. Expect your strength to return. Expect your energy to be renewed. Your body shall be a living testimony to my restorative grace.
The middle-aged man, with a slightly hoarse voice and a hint of anger, possessed considerable knowledge. Even your inner world is being recalibrated. If you have lived on a roller coaster of anxiety and despair, I am speaking peace, be still to the waves of your emotions. I am replacing the chaos in your heart with a joy that is not tied to your bank account or your social standing, but to my unchanging presence. You will find that you can stand steady even when the earth beneath you shakes, because your anchor is cast in the depths of my love. As you step into these new territories, do not be intimidated by the unfamiliarity of the rooms you are now entering. Every new level comes with new responsibilities, but it also comes with a new, heavier weight of grace. I do not promote you without equipping you, and I do not lead you into battle without the armor you need to win. Every promise I have whispered to you in the secret place is now manifesting in the open place. The breakthrough is not just coming, it is breaking through right now. Remember, my child, that nothing, not one single thing shall lack. This is the bedrock of our covenant.
If you believe this, you can knock on every door with the boldness of a lion. You are not a beggar at the gate, you are a child at the table. I have silenced the accuser who whispers that you are disqualified by your past. Your worth is not found in your perfection, but in my selection of you. You are washed, you are justified, and you are called. Now, move forward. Do not look back at the failures of yesterday or the what-ifs of the past. The promised land is in front of you, and I am walking right beside you, ensuring that every step is secure. The windows of heaven are pinned open over your life, and the abundance is flowing. Receive it, live in it, and be at peace, for I am your Father, and I never fail. My precious child, as you stand at the edge of this new dawn, I want you to know that this is not the end of our conversation, but merely the beginning of a deeper walk between us. I have so much more to whisper to your heart, and there are many more messages of grace coming your way that will act as a shield for your faith and a wind beneath your weary wings. These words are sent to remind you, in the moments when the world feels cold and vast, that you are cherished with an everlasting love by the very one who fashioned the stars and breathed life into the dust. You are not an accident, and your struggles have never been invisible to me. I urge you, my little one, do not try to navigate the complexities of this season in isolation, for I have not designed you to carry the weight of the world on your own shoulders. Stay closely knitted to the community of hearts I have placed around you, those fellow travelers who, like you, are leaning into my promises and watching the horizon for the first light of their own breakthroughs. There is a unique strength found in the gathering of the faithful, a sacred resonance that happens when you pray for one another and remind each other of my goodness when the night seems long. Your brothers and sisters are standing on the same ground of hope, trusting me for the same miracles of provision and the same opening of ancient doors. When you stay connected, you create a reservoir of courage that sustains everyone involved.
The middle-aged man, with a slightly hoarse voice and a hint of anger, possessed considerable knowledge. I tell you truly, your testimony is not a matter of if, but a matter of when, and it is currently being woven together in the unseen realms. When that moment of manifestation arrives, when the provision hits your hand and the peace settles in your home, we want to be there to lift up a shout of thanksgiving with you. Your joy will be a light that invites others to trust me too, and your story will become a bridge for someone else who is currently drowning in doubt. So I ask you to keep your heart anchored and your eyes fixed on me. Do not let the flickering shadows of current circumstances distract you from the steady sun of my truth. Get your spirit ready, for I am preparing to move in your life with a magnitude that will leave you breathless with wonder. I am going to exceed every small request and every timid hope you have ever dared to utter in the dark. My capacity to give is not limited by your capacity to imagine, and my storehouses are not governed by the economies of men. I am the God of the more than enough, and I am your faithful Father who delights in the prosperity of your soul and your life. Believe me when I say that as long as you make me your source and your sanctuary, not a single necessity will be missing from your journey. You will look back on this day and realize that every delay was a mercy and every lack was a setup for a greater abundance. Peace is my gift to you, and provision is my signature upon your life. Rest now in the assurance that I am already in your tomorrow, making sure that every table is set and every path is clear. You are mine, you are provided for, and you are never, ever alone.